Today I'm going to show you how to do a square in a square pattern, the easy way. No half square triangles. This is just a really easy, simple way of making a cushion cover, or you can even do a quilt or bag front or anything you like, but it's just so beautifully easy with really good results. So you can start off with any size square, and it generally goes up sort of 2 inches, 2.5 inches, something like that. But I'm starting off with a 5-inch square. So the best thing to do is cut out my 5-inch square is going to be my center square that I'm going to build off, and then I'm going to have the dotted on the outside as the first two pieces. Okay, so two 5-inch squares, pop them together, so all the way around 4 sides completely with a 1/4 inch seam. Then get a ruler and go from end to end like this. After you've done it from corner to corner, and do a line, and corner to corner and do a line like that. Now this is the piece that I'm going to be unfolding, so this is the piece with the cross on. If you wanted that side to be unfolding, not the center square, then this is the side that you would put your cross on. So then you do that, and you'd end up with a piece like this. So then you bring the two together, just think I haven't cut this yet, and you just make a little snip like that, put your scissors in and follow the line up, all 4 cuts, right up to as close as you can up to the stitch marks. Snip off all the 4 corners like that, and then you will unfold. So you end up with a piece like that. Look at that, how easy was that? Okay, so press with your iron all the edges out, which I will do in a minute, and that's your first 2 squares done. Okay, so then your next piece, I mean, I've got a selection of fabrics here that I'd like to include in this cushion. So the next piece I've got here, it needs pressing, and I will do it now before I sew, but it's roughly the right size. It's just an odd piece that I've had lying about. So again, it's right sides together, so you've put that down, lay this on top. As I say, make sure you press it well, because these seams will need pulling out and pressing, otherwise you won't end up with a nice decent square. Okay, and have this square, all the seams running the same way, so you're not going to have any bulkiness. So now that's just about going to fit, that is. So pin the corners after you've ironed it, and sew all the way around that square. Again, exactly all the way around, and then when you get to this piece, put your ruler on. This is the piece that I'm going to be unfolding, so point to point and point to point, you'd do that, and then you'd scissor up and you'd open that one out. So I'll go ahead and I'll go and do this one first before we carry on. I'll go and press it first. So there it is, I've pressed it, and I've sewn that back piece on, and I've drawn my cross. So this is what I was meaning with the first one. So you just pinch it together so that the lines on both sides are lined up, and just do a little snip like that, enough to get your scissors in, and then just follow the line, your drawn line, all the way to the corner of each. Drawn line like so. and this is amazing how quickly it grows. It's brilliant. If you're a person who loves sharp points, this is not the project for you. So then you open that one out. Look at that now. Isn't that lovely? It's coming together lovely. So then again you go away and you'll press that open and you'll get your next piece that you want on. In my case it's going to be this one, I think. Yep. And I'm just going to, I'll press it first before I do this, but I'm just going to lay it on after I've pressed it. And then I'll probably get one of my templates, square it up, and then put this next piece, cut the next piece, but I'll draw it on, draw the size first, cut it out, and I'll do it all again. Okay, so I'll go and do that first, and then I'll come back. So I've put on a couple more squares, and my biggest square that I've put on is 12-inch. So you know, you can find all these pieces in your scrap, can't you, in your stash bundles, and it really is a good way of using them up and having something beautiful at the end of it. So if I open that out, that's exactly the size that I want for my cushion front. So all I've got to do now is press it, put a piece of wadding on the back, and then I'm going to do some nice decorative stitching just because I can and I want to. You don't have to, but it is nice to either stitch in the ditch here or just do some fancy lines, anything really, just to tie this piece onto your piece of wadding batting on the back, or fusible fleece is just as good. It just gives it that little bit of body and that little bit of plumpness on the front of the cushion. You don't have to do that on the back if it's going to be a cushion. I mean, you could just have it as a bag front if you wanted, or whatever you want really, or it could be the beginnings of a quilt. I mean, you know, doing it this way, you could do sections, quilt pieces like this, and then sew up each piece. You could do a full quilt in a day. It's just amazing how quickly this thing grows from a 5-inch square to this 12-inch one that I've ended with. It's took next to no time. So I'll go ahead and I'll do that, and I'll show you the end result. But so here's my finished cushion. It's got a zip in it in the back. I've just done a plain calico back, but as you can see it's really pretty. Well, I think it is anyway, and it's used up a little bit of my stash, and I've done some decorative stitching around the edge just to make it look pretty. And here's one I did before using Moda and plains, and that's it. If you'd like any of these beautiful fabrics, we sell loads of lovely fabrics at deanyfabrics.co.uk, and please sign up to my YouTube videos, and I will put another one up very soon. Thanks.